views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Welcome to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. Each week, you'll learn how to navigate the global shift of consciousness and explore the deeper knowledge within. Welcome home. Now here's your host, Dr. Kelly Neff.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Kelly, and you are listening to Lucid Planet Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour and let us help you experience healing, creativity, and knowledge. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Lucid Planet Radio, we will have some of the most gifted authors, healers, speakers, and scientists helping you to discover the greatest version of yourself. You can find out more at thelucidplanet.com and listen to all of my show archives at lucidplanetradio.com. You can also connect with me on Facebook, The Lucid Planet with Dr. Kelly, and Twitter, The Lucid Planet. Well, for today's show, we're talking about something really important, and it's something that's really dedicated to all of the women out there, although this certainly doesn't mean that men can't learn a thing or two. A lot of these tips that we're going to talk about are very universal. What am I referring to? Well, in our modern lives, we all seem to have many unique demands placed upon us, especially for women where we struggle to fulfill all of the roles that we want to fulfill in our lives, from being mothers, being wives, being career women, also juggling this with finding time for ourselves. This can be very challenging. I mean, I'm sure we all know a woman or many women feeling overworked, overtired, really pushing themselves to the limit. I know for myself, I tend to think I do a pretty good job managing my time, but I definitely go through my moments where I feel like I've bitten off more than I can chew, and some kind of burnout is just around the corner. So today, I am very pleased to welcome Dr. Jamie Kulaga to the show. She is really here to help women find that balance between work and personal life and really help turn us into superwomen all the time. Dr. Kulaga is a licensed mental health counselor. She's a certified professional coach. She is an inspirational speaker, and she's an entrepreneur. She is also a frequent mental health expert on TV and has even been featured on Forbes.com, Maria Shriver's blog, and in Glamour magazine, as well as Self and Prevention magazines, for her expertise in the topic of work-life balance and life fulfillment. Her real passion is to motivate others to live their best life. And this is very similar to my real passion, helping people to become the greatest version of themselves. So I can tell we're going to get along. She coaches and counsels individuals, couples, business people. She teaches also at the university level. And she is the author of The Superwoman's Guide to Super Fulfillment, Step-by-Step Strategies to Create a Work-Life Balance. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Really, her very successful Superwoman workshops help empower women to make better decisions, to steer the course of their lives, and to use practical tools to find deeper fulfillment and happiness. So again, this is really important, and this is kind of make it or break it in your life. You can have it all, but if you can't balance your time, you're going to be miserable and you're going to be stressed out. Today's show is really all about learning to thrive, getting off that Ferris wheel of stress, and really empowering women to become the greatest version of themselves. So I'm really excited for this. I loved the book, and I'm really pleased to welcome Dr. Jamie to the show. Welcome, Jamie.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. Let's jump right into it. I guess my first question is, what inspired you to become a therapist to help women around the world?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so writing the book was a little bit different than what inspired me to become a therapist. Essentially, I think we've all had trials and tribulations of our childhood, and we all sort of face different things. And one of the things that I faced in my childhood was a divorce, and it was that classic divorce that we don't need to spend time on because we would probably take the whole hour and we could all sob together and, cry. No, but instead of living that way, the divorce was the trigger to me becoming a therapist. When my dad left the family, it shook my understanding of life. It shook that initial foundation that I had created in my mind, what I thought a family was, what I thought was supposed to happen in life. And my mom had never worked a day in her life. She had no college education behind her, and she suddenly was thrown into the world to raise two girls, two young girls, and figure it all out with no money, no job, no education. And
wow.
As I watched, it was intense and it was sad. And the one thing that I learned two things. One, I learned I didn't want to be that, not her, but I didn't want to go through that. So I knew I needed to get an education. I needed to gain experience in something. And I knew that I wanted to share that with women, like, hey, get educated. Like, even if you marry this wonderful man, what happens if he passes? What happens if he leaves? You've got to do something with your own life. Enjoy it. My mom gave everything to the family and nothing to herself, and I saw her suffering because of that. And then because my foundation was rocked, I decided to try to understand why people do the things that they do, and that is essentially what psychology is. You're figuring out the mind and why people interact and behave in certain ways. And that was the very foundation, and started taking classes, and here we are today.
It's a very inspiring story. I know, I mean, obviously, as a psychology professor for a long time, I'm sure you were teaching as well. And you see so many students coming in looking for that understanding and looking to kind of make sense of what's happened to them in their lives. And psychology is a very natural place to land. What's inspiring is to see when people take that and they really run with it and they create an amazing life for themselves that really does help other people. That's the goal. And that can be really hard because you do kind of have to go your own way to a certain extent.
It is hard, and you can make excuses from it. That's the thing. That's where so many people get stuck in their past and bringing it to today and to the present, is you get so hung up on reliving that story and using it in a negative way. It's so important to try to change your story and say, how can I use this pain, or how can I use this past to propel me into a different future instead of leaning on an excuse?
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Well, it's hard to be accountable. You know, we kind of grew up in the society where no one's accountable for anything. And so it's very easy just to kind of follow in those patterns and fall into those same mistakes. But there is something so wonderful and so empowering about actually being accountable for the mistakes you've made, not blaming it on your parents or your history or anybody else, but recognizing that you have the power to change it when you recognize that it's your fault. So I am absolutely.
It's good and it's bad. It's bad because you got to take responsibility, and you're like, oh my God, I don't have an excuse, and this is scary. But when you assume the control and you find these awesome solutions, and you realize, wow, I can actually make this decision to change my life or propel it forward, or wow, I can take a whole different course, and you realize how much of your life is in your power, how much amazingness is in your control. It can change your life, or it can lead to fulfillment, which is what we're going to talk about today. So
absolutely. So ready, everyone out there, you have the power to change your life. And that's it. You do, but you have to claim that power. And it is scary because it means that maybe you haven't lived in that power in the past, but that's okay because right now you have the power to wake up in your own life. So that being said, super important message. What I really want to get into is the Superwoman's Guide to Super Fulfillment. And tell me a little bit about what inspired you to write the book.
Okay, so the short answer is my clients. What I was noticing is that while coaching these clients on a national platform, no matter where in the nation they were, they all had something in common, and that was that they wanted work-life balance workshops. I began looking. I looked in LA, I looked in New York, I looked in Miami. I couldn't find exactly what they wanted, so I created the Superwoman workshops. And within these workshops, I saw such success. The women were saying no and not feeling guilty, building lasting relationships. So I decided to take their successes, take my knowledge, take all of our experiences, and bundle it. And lo and behold, you have the international book, The Superwoman's Guide to Super Fulfillment.
Woohoo!
Yay! It was just like that.
So this really comes from experience.
It does. It does. It comes from personal experience, clients' experiences, and what's worked and what's not. And what I love about it is that that's what it is. It's practical. It's a guide. It's not something we have to sit down and open a dictionary and be like, what does this mean? Or I don't have time for that. Or what is she trying to say? It's just like practical, easy tips that everyone can do, especially an on-the-go woman like you and me. So
yes. I think that's so important. We've got a couple of minutes to the break, but I just wanted to ask you very briefly, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges that women have trying to find a work-life balance? And we can talk more about this after the break, too.
Okay, so really quick in a nutshell, we can talk about it in a little bit, but I would say it's saying no. Women struggle with that. We're people pleasers. We want to say yes. We see that smile on someone's face, and we're happy. We've satisfied something. No makes people upset, but no, there's a payoff in the end, whereas with yes, the payoff's right away. But the payoff in the end means no extra roles, no responsibilities, no extra weight, and it's really hard for us to be able to say no. So I like to tell women you can say no and follow it up with solutions that you can give to people so that you don't have to feel so guilty and that you don't have to make them so upset when you do tell them no, because you're the go-to person. All of you ladies out there that say yes all the time, you're the go-to, and we need to change that.
Oh, man. I mean, this resonates so true to me. This is something that has been a big struggle to learn in my own life about, say, I'm such a people pleaser. I didn't even realize it. I thought, well, I'm just trying to help and I'm trying to be a good person. But actually, people pleasing is incredibly harmful to yourself and the other people, because often you make promises that you can't keep. And then when that happens, you actually let people down, and then you let yourself
and you ruin
down.
Your credibility.
Yeah, and then you feel bad about yourself. So this is like a really big deal, and learning to set those boundaries and learning to find those limits to say no is incredibly important. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk so much more about this and really what else we need to do to overcome these issues to become more super women in our lives. So you are listening to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly. And when we come back, we will explore a lot more about this. We'll talk about perfectionism and setting goals and the journey towards happiness with me, Dr. Kelly, and Dr. Jamie Kulaga. So stay tuned with us, and we will be right back. Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Enlightening, humorous, and compassionate. Listen live to The Kelly Ballard Show, insight and inspiration from the great beyond. Kelly is a fourth-generation medium and intuitive who covers topics ranging from grief, spirit guides, and listening to your intuition. Kelly can help you get answers and guidance from the other side with a little bit of humor and a lot of healing. Tune in to The Kelly Ballard Show, Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Time here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
feeling broken from your relationships? Are you second-guessing yourself about friends, family, and lovers? Tune into the hit show that's creating a buzz in the love-seeking community, Love Seeker Radio, finding love for your authentic self with renowned love coach Heather Lynn. Tired of dissatisfying relationships? Kiss them goodbye and power up your love seeker energy. Coach Heather Lynn reminds you that you can just be you, the beautiful and perfect you. Visit heatherlynncoaching.com to learn more.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
We are back on Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly, and it's a happy day today. My guest today is Dr. Jamie Kulaga, who is talking with us about connecting to our inner superwoman and really empowering ourselves to find a healthy work-life balance. Before we continue, I just want to make sure everybody knows how to contact Dr. Jamie. Could you please give us your contact info and tell them where they can learn more about your books, counseling, and any upcoming events that you're doing?
Yes, I'm still jamming out to that beat. Was everyone hearing that? Me and Susie having so much fun.
Absolutely.
I am rocking out. I mean, if you want fulfillment and happiness, just turn that song on, because I don't think there's anyone that can't smile and dance to that song.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah, so info is I'm dancing away. Yes, drjamiek.com, drjamiek.com. You can find info on the book. You can find info on the upcoming workshops, and I know we were chatting earlier, and we've got some awesome new Superwoman workshops coming up that are online. Most of them had been in person, so we're doing like these 15-minute to fierce Superwoman workshops coming up. So all the info will be on my website about that. And then up and coming, if anyone's in Chicago, on Friday, September 18th, I'll be at a Books A Million in Chicago Ridge Mall doing a book signing. So drjamiek.com has everything you need.
Awesome. 15 minutes to fierce. I just love that.
I know. I love it.
I mean, we could all use some more fierce in our lives, right?
Yeah, I love it.
That's wonderful. Okay, well, moving on, let's get back to, the meat and potatoes of all this goodness of how we're going to transform ourselves. And one topic that I know can be a huge struggle for both men and women, but particularly women sometimes, is perfectionism.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it's hard because we're so perfect.
We're so perfectly imperfect. I like to believe that kind of that Japanese idea of the wabi-sabi, that the imperfections are what make us beautiful.
Yes.
But, we're conditioned by a society and a belief system that kind of tells us we have to be perfect. And of course, this can be an epic fail. How do we overcome this? How is this limiting to us being successful and happy?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, it goes twofold. One is perfection is subjective. So when you're trying to be perfect all the time, it's really exhausting. Your energy is going to be drained a lot. That's because you're chasing something that's non-existent. And when you're doing that and you're never obtaining, or you're obtaining, but then you're like instantly on the base of the next mountain and you're like, okay, we got another one. All right, let's do another one. And you're never even enjoying your successes. It's a huge blow to the confidence. And when your confidence drops, that's defeating to success, because you need confidence to take on the next mountain, the next goal, the next step in life. And without confidence, often we don't believe in our abilities, so we stay very stagnant. And then on the other side of things, oftentimes perfectionists tend to hold other people to that standard. So I'm sure you know who you are out there. I'm sure that I've done it before. I know I've done it. And that's where I'm holding my husband to the perfection standard. I'm holding my employees to the perfectionism standard. And how is that hurtful? Well, that means that I'm keeping everything on my plate because you don't do it like I do it. So I'm just going to have to do it. And what happens is you have this plate of all these small, tedious tasks that you just keep on there because you won't delegate them out. But if you delegate them out, you can take on bigger projects that show that you're able to go to that next level. And then oftentimes when we do delegate out, we're like, okay, I hear what Dr. Jamie's saying. I'll go ahead and delegate it out. Then you find yourself micromanaging, and now you're this control freak. So it's this horrible, this horrible cycle. So that's how it can be damaging. It really holds you back from being able to free up time to go to that next level in life.
You cannot do it all.
No.
And you're not supposed to do it all. You have to be able to trust people that they are going to do a good enough job that you can keep moving forward with the bigger stuff that you need to do.
Yep. And if you're expecting them, if you're a leader in your place of employment, if you are expecting them to trust and believe in you to lead them, you need to be able to trust them taking on some tasks. You can do check-ins. You can say, hey, where you at with that project? How's it coming? But you don't need to sit there and hover, micromanage, and keep everything to yourself and not delegate out. You're setting a horrible example because you're not setting a behavior that is going to be modeled back to you.
Yeah, this is really important in business in general and in most areas of life in general, not just for women, but for everyone, right? It's very much a universal thing. We have to learn to trust people and really hire the experts and let them do their job and don't micromanage them. I mean, that is like huge.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
And it's so time consuming, and then you become like controlling, and then no one likes you, and then it's just a horrible vicious circle. So trust them and realize too, like even in the home, aside from work, oftentimes spouses they want to help you, and we just keep saying, okay, I'll do the grocery shopping, and I'll do the work, and I'll do the laundry, and I'll do this, and I'll do that, and you don't even ask because you just assume like I'm not going to pass that off. But so many times, especially I've made this mistake, my husband used to say, Jamie, hey, I want to help. And no. I don't know if I was trying to impress him, to make him think I was this superwoman that you see in the movies that can take everything on. I don't know what I was trying to do. But I know I was overwhelmed, and he doesn't want to see me stressed and broken down. He wants to help. So especially for the spouses out there that are telling you, like, hey, I'm over here in the corner. I'd be glad to do something. Go ahead and give them it. They might not do it as perfect as you do it, but they want to help, and that can build a bond in the relationship and relieve stress from you.
So important. I mean, this is one problem, thankfully, I don't have in my home life. My spouse, Jimmy Ohm, who has been on the show a couple of times now, talking about all kinds of interesting stuff. He really steps up. He cooks, he cleans, he handles a lot of stuff. And initially, I was kind of reserved about it, but I love it. I love that we can kind of have that symbiotic relationship and connection where we're both contributing, and then we both have a stake in the home and in our lives together. It's really a good thing. It's really positive to share those responsibilities with your partner.
Yep, absolutely. I love it. And for those of you that are thinking, you're doing the eye roll and you're like, oh my God, I'd kill for my spouse to do something like that. A lot of times it's because we aren't even asking. So maybe they're not saying, hey, I'll help you, but maybe you haven't asked either. So go ahead and reach out and ask for that type of support. And two, they might be scared if you're that perfectionist that they don't want to do anything because they can't do it up to your standards. So when you do ask for help, make sure that you're nice and a little bit lenient with things, and you don't just give something to them and then start yelling at them, telling them how much they've messed it up when they do it.
I think one thing that's really important that I'm hearing come through is like, you can't take this life too seriously.
Yep.
None of us is getting out of here alive. Yep. and I'm sure, that's good. And I'm sure you have some other tips as well for women who are beginning their journey towards happiness that maybe you could provide to them that could help them as they start off on this.
Yes, absolutely. I have a bunch, so just cut me off if we come up on commercial time here.
Sure.
Okay, so one of the first most important things that you can do is rid of the toxic people in your life. So I challenge right? Amen. There. Amen. I love it. God is with us today. So, you want to go ahead. I challenge everyone out there to create a list of the people that are toxic. And these are the people that suck your energy from you. They corner you into saying yes. They are always upsetting you. They are planting seeds of doubt in your mind. And then what you want to do with these people is you want to delete them off your list, or you want to set better boundaries with them. And some of the most dangerous people out there are very subtle in their ways, and they might even be saying things that they say to you because they think it's best for you. And so their motive is in a nice way, but it is planting seeds of doubt. And these are the people where you finally got the energy, the confidence to say, you know what, I'm going to go back for that master's degree. I got 2 kids. I'm working full time. Things are tough, but you know what? This is a dream of mine, and I'm going to do it. And then you tell this person, and then they say to you, well, that's great, but do you really have time for that right now? And boom, that seed was planted. And then your mind just thinks about it and waters it until it grows and grows. And then you look back and it's 3 years later and you still haven't gone for that master's. So really with those people, right, just delete them or set boundaries.
Sounds like they're projecting their own fears and shortcomings onto your life.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's very dangerous.
How about one more tip? We've got about a minute before we go into the break.
Awesome. Okay, worry when it's time to worry. That's the second tip. How many times, right, do we just worry ourselves about something that never even happens, or we worry it until it comes true because now we've worried so much that we've made it happen. And then the worst is the funniest. Everything in life is going great. There's no problems, and now we really start to worry because now we're worrying that things are going so good that something bad must be right around the corner. So we start worrying about this. So my suggestion to everyone out there is you can plan for the future, but don't ruminate, dwell, and create scenarios that you don't even know that are going to happen. So worry when it's time to worry.
Such great advice, Dr. Jamie. I mean, we always talk, Jimmy Ohm, my partner and I, we always say worrying is just a misuse of creative energy that actually gives you opportunities to create something that would not actually be there anyway. That being said, I'm Dr. Kelly, and you're listening to Lucid Planet Radio, and I am here with Dr. Jamie Kulaga. When we come back from the break, Dr. Jamie's going to explain to us really how to set goals, smart goals, and how to meet those goals to be the best superwoman you can be. So stay tuned, and we will be right back after this short commercial break.
There's a stranger in my bed. There's a pounding in my head. Glitter all over the room. Pink flamingos in the pool. I smell like a minibar. DJ's passed out in the yard. Bobby's on the barbecue. This a hickey or roots. Pictures of last night ended up online. I'm screwed.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
If you're one of the millions of Americans suffering from anxiety, you probably know how powerless and out of control this emotion can make you feel. This is why it is so important to remember that anxiety is created by your mind, which means that you can learn to use your mind to uncreate it. Hello, my name is Dr. Friedman Schaub. My award-winning book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, provides you with a step-by-step breakthrough process to understand and resolve the root causes of your anxiety and build a solid foundation of confidence and inner peace. If you're ready to take your power back, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com. That's thefearandanxietysolution.com, or call 866-903-6463. That's 866-903-MIND.
Each month, listen to Live More Radio with co-host Allie Katz. Join Allie and Dr. Pat as Allie introduces new ways to bring balance back to your life through meditation, sleep, and exercise techniques so you can live your truly authentic life. Stress less, live more. To learn more about Allie, visit atozenmeditation.com.
Let the transition begin. Tune in to the hit show, Majestic Insights Radio, Success for Life's Transitions, with host Carrie Keith. Carrie is a gifted intuitive coach, healer, and teacher who will lead you through her empowering techniques of ancient wisdom and awareness so you can live your happiest, healthiest, and most vibrant life. Let Carrie teach you the tools of transformation that will help you experience success for all of life's transitions. To learn more about Carrie, visit www.majesticinsights.com.
There's a stranger in my bed. There's a pounding in my head. Glitter all over the room. Pink flamingos in the pool. I smell like a mini bar. DJ's passed out in the yard. Bobby's on the barbecue. This a hickey or ruse. Pictures of last night.
We are back on Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly. I'm just laughing at glitter all over the room. I hate when that happens, you know. I have Dr. Jamie Kulaga here, and we are talking about finding a work-life balance and what that looks like for the true superwoman within inside each of us. And in the book, Jamie, you talk a lot about setting SMART goals for yourself. Yes. Can you explain to us what that means and how to do it?
Awesome, yes. Okay, so SMART is actually an acronym, so it's easy to remember SMART because you want to set goals and you want to be smart, so SMART goals. But what they stand for is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So when you're setting goals, you don't just want to say something like, I want to lose weight. Well, you really want to set yourself up for success, so be able to measure that. Be able to be more specific. I want to lose 35 pounds by March of 2016. I've got an end date in mind, which really makes the goal more real, and then it's also very attainable. You can lose 35 pounds by March if you eat right and you exercise. It's very realistic. It's very specific of a goal. On your way to your goal too, I touched really briefly on realistic there, but it needs to be realistic not only in the big scheme of things like 35 pounds next week is not realistic, but realistic to your lifestyle and your life situation. So many times when we go start a goal, we compare ourselves to somebody else, and then we kind of set ourselves up for failure right from the start. So let me give you a great example.
Sure.
For anyone out there that's trying to go for their degree right now, let's say you have 2 kids, you're a single mom, you're working a full-time job. If you want to get your bachelor's degree, if you're going to compare it to somebody fresh out of high school, no kids, scholarship, no job, they're going to be living in the dorm, much different situation. Say, you know what, they can do theirs in about 3.5, 4 years. You know what, I'm going to do it too in 3.5. I'll just keep pushing. No.
No.
Don't tell yourself that, because after the first term, you're going to be like, there is no way, I'm done. But if you give yourself maybe 6 years to get it. I know that sounds long, but 6 years is going to come and go so quickly, and you can make your dream a reality. Just be very cautious in trying to keep up with the Joneses and always comparing yourself. Look at your lifestyle, your situation, and make the goal realistic based on that, not somebody else's cover of their book.
Absolutely. And I think one thing that's really important also is not to beat yourself up for making those comparisons. We know from social psychology that our need to compare ourselves to other people is very much hardwired in our brain, and that we kind of grow up being taught that that's the way. And so if you find yourself making those comparisons, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Don't feel bad about yourself. Just move on from the comparison. Recognize when you're doing it, and recognize how incredibly irrelevant the comparison actually is to your own personal life, and just really be happy for you.
I love that, and I did that myself actually. A few years ago, I was working, trying to build the businesses and doing all these things, all these different dynamics going on, and I'm missing dinner every night, and so I'm not getting home until like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm missing dinners. Well, what I was doing is, in case everyone out there listening doesn't know, Miss Jones, she has dinner at 6:30. It's a 4-course meal, and she has her kids with sugar plums above their head at 7:30, and it's a beautiful world in Miss Jones's place. And that is right. Okay, so that's what I was doing. And I don't even know a Miss Jones, so I don't know where I've created this, but apparently I have it stuck in my head that she eats dinner with her family at 6:30, and since I was coming home at 9, I could not eat dinner with my family. So I completely lost that's the great thing about having kids. That's the fulfillment, the enjoyment, these little things that, we've lost along the way. So I just completely nixed it out. Well, I did what you said. I recognized, wait a minute, Miss Jones doesn't even exist. Why am I doing this? Yes, it's late. I get it. But you know what? I can eat dinner with my kids. So you know what? My husband would have the kids ready, washed, bathed, ready for bed. I'd walk in at 9. Dinner would be there. We would sit down. I'd ask them how their day was. We'd kind of all do one family meeting right there. And now I get home earlier now, but I didn't have to miss dinners anymore. I got to be there. I got to see the kids. We got to take part in each other's lives. And that's so much more important than the kids going to bed at 7:30. And I know there's probably doctors out there cringing. No, you need your kids in bed at 6:30 like Miss Jones. But that's what worked for my family. And it brought us happiness and a bond that was so important to us.
Dude, that's beautiful, because in the end of the day, it doesn't matter how anybody else is doing it. What matters is that it feels right for you and that it works for you. And just owning that is huge. That's great. So, we talk about goals. We all have a lot of goals, and some of them are like little goals and some of them are big goals. How do we identify what's our top goals are and how important they are?
Awesome. Excellent. So you have to know your priorities first and foremost. And what I encourage everyone to do out there tonight is to make a list of all of your life roles, every role that you play. So it's not just going to be spouse, caregiver, mother, employee, but list everything. I'm the dog walker, the family CPA, the therapist, Negative Nancy in the office, the grocery shopper, the laundry doer. Make that list and then go through that list and circle the top 5, what's most important to you, the top 5. It is those 5 life roles that you want to give 100% dedicated time to. And it doesn't mean you forget everything else on your list. But what it means is that when you're in the moment with that particular life role, that you give them dedicated time. So you're not with your kids and on social media and watching TV and cleaning and doing everything else. You might be on the floor for 25 minutes versus the 4 hours of no attention. You're on the floor 25 minutes playing Thomas the Train with them. Because when you have to walk away and do something else on the list, you're going to feel less guilt and they're going to be more accepting. And if those 5 life roles are the most important to you and they are in balance, everything else in your life will be in balance. It is when one of those top priorities is not in balance that everything else seems out of whack in your life, and that's where we can hit the slump. So you really need to know what your priorities are, because when you set goals and you make decisions outside of them, you know, okay, wait, this is really going to take me away from this. I can't do this. This will take me away from that. I won't do that. So you have to go into every day knowing your priorities and your roles in life.
Wow. And, that requires a certain level of self-awareness that many of us just don't have on the day-to-day.
Yeah.
Get bogged down.
Absolutely. So you really have to keep those in perspective. And then the main goals that you're going for, post them up, write them. Like I have this huge piece of wrapping paper in my bedroom, and I flip it over to the white side. And on my wall, I list out my goals for that month. So maybe my personal financial is to save X amount of dollars. Maybe for the business, it's to do something with the book sales or attend so many book signings. And every morning when I wake up, I have a vision. This is where I have a direction. This is where I'm going to go. This is what I need to do to wrap up the month. And then when I go to bed, I look and I check off the things I did, and I see my successes, and it completes my day. So really finding visual ways to stay focused on your goals tools is very important. So think visual. Keep things visual.
Great advice. And there's something about seeing it visually that kind of and writing things out that helps it manifest into reality too, because it's like becoming a tangible thing, not just ideas swirling around in your brain, but really something concrete.
Yes, they say 90% of people that write down their goals reach them. So it's and I tell all of my coaching clients that are with me, they have their own journal. They bring it every single session, and we write down their goals. I'll say, okay, time to open your journal. All right, we're going to write this down. If I see them not writing, I'm like, you got to write it, because the odds are in my favor, and I look like a great coach then, because all I have to do is get them to write it down, and I have a 90% chance that they're going to succeed. So it's my little cheat.
Awesome. Oh, it's so important. We've got just 1 minute to the break, but I thought maybe I could ask you really quickly, do women know why they can't achieve balance or why they're struggling? Maybe that's one for after, but...
Yeah, yes, and you know what? I do think that they do. That's a short answer. Yes, we know why. We know we say yes too much. We know we should have said no to those 26 projects and negative Nancy's comments all the time. We know we need to walk away from things. I think it is a matter of how do we deal with it now that we said yes.
Yeah.
And then how do we use these tips and techniques, or what tips and techniques do we use to prevent these errors moving forward? So do we know why we do what we do? We know why we've got ourselves in the predicament. It's how do we use the tools, or what tools do we use to get us out of it now?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk more about these tools, and we're also going to talk a little bit about resolving negative self-talk and also the bucket list challenge, which I'm excited to mention. So again, I am Dr. Kelly on Lucid Planet Radio, and I'm here with Dr. Jamie Kulaga talking about work-life balance. Stay tuned, and we will be right back after the break.
Come down, selector.
This one goes out to you and yours. Worldwide, I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. Seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know, but I know.
Tune in to the hit show Masters Chambers with your trusted friend Connie Fife. Mondays, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Each week, Connie will connect you with the best of the best thought leaders from around the globe to share their strategies and best practices. Getting better together. To book Connie, visit ConnieFifeSpeaks.com.
The doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. This inspiring show will help you never feel helpless in life or love ever again. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific Time right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
We Carry the Light with host Dr. Susan Allison is the show that inspires you to find the light within and shine your light in the world. You'll hear from guests who model how to be the highest, brightest, most evolved, fulfilled, and conscious humans possible. Tune in each Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com, and let Dr. Susan help you discover that you carry the unique light that only you can shine.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook.
Welcome back to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly. I'm just loving the music today. We've both been getting down. I'm here with Dr. Jamie Kulaga, and for the last segment of the show, we are going to talk about the bucket list challenge and also dealing with negative self-talk. So, Jamie, I'm handing it over to you. What is the bucket list challenge?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I encourage everyone out there to make a bucket list. You know what a bucket list is. It's a list of all the things that you want to do before you kick the can. But often when we have created these bucket lists, I find what I used to do and I find what clients have done is we make this long list of places that we want to travel. So first we'll throw in like, okay, I want to go for that PhD. And then we go ahead and we list like 70 tropical islands that we want to go to. And as awesome as that is, let's go back to realistic, what we were talking about in the last segment. It's not realistic unless you're a multi-millionaire or billionaire that can spend the next however many years of your life just hopping from tropical island to tropical island. A lot of us can't do that. We have to work. We have other things that we have to do. So while the PhD can be on there, and while a couple tropical islands or some European vacation can be on there, put other smaller things that you could do on the weekend on that list. So maybe you've always wanted to try hot yoga, or you've wanted to try to kayak or paddleboard, or maybe you've never been horseback riding. Think of other things other than travel that you want to do. And then that's something that you can realistically do on the weekends or even the evenings at night if you wanted to. And that adds bits of fulfillment and happiness throughout your week. So if you're saving for that trip to Paris or that trip to Fiji, it's probably going to take you a few years to save, or you'll be able to go now and then your next vacation isn't going to be for 5 years. Why just bust your butt for the next 5 years until you get to the next vacation? What about the meantime in that 5 years, which isn't even promised to you to begin with? So try to find ways to spice up your weeks, your days, by doing these bucket listers. And then I challenge you to do a minimum of 5 each year at a very minimum. If we're doing small ones, we could probably do them monthly. So really try to create this bucket list in a manner where you can start adding some fulfillment to your life much, much more frequently. So that's the bucket list challenge.
What a wonderful idea. I love to travel, and I've been very fortunate to be able to travel in my life. But one thing that, again, my partner and I, we kind of joke about is in many ways traveling can be for people who kind of like hate their life and they want to escape from their life. And sometimes it's not always, obviously, but sometimes there's something really useful and valuable to be said for putting that energy and those resources into what's happening in your life right now. So, okay, you might not be able to go on a trip, but you can learn a new skill. You can try a new activity. You can do something nearby your house that's still fun and bonding for you without having to put all of this money and all this effort into this like illusionary vacation where everything's going to be okay when I get to go on vacation. It's like, don't take a vacation from your life. Be present and try to enjoy your life now.
Yep, and it builds a bond with the people in your home. So, for example, my situation, let's say I've never been kayaking. Chances are this weekend, I have, but if I hadn't, I'd say chances are, this weekend, if I'm going to go kayaking, I'm not going to go by myself. You know who I'm going to bring? I'm going to bring my husband and my 2 kids. So instead of waiting for 5 years for this vacation, we're saving for that, but we're also going to go kayaking today. And it's this weekend, and it's such a great bonding experience for the family. Why make your family wait months, years, decades for something to happen when you can build the bond and have fun with them right now? So, get the family involved in the bucket list too.
So important. That's totally awesome. And I'm definitely going to start doing this. I've never heard the language for it like that. But that's definitely something really important to add to those goals and those priorities. The last thing that I want to talk about is you talk a lot about getting rid of the shoulds, the have-tos, and really that negative self-talk. What advice do you have for getting rid of that negative self-talk? That can be hugely damaging.
It is huge, and I challenge everyone out there to stop today and keep doing self-checks. And how many times did you say, man, I should have done that. Oh, I should have went that way. Why did I go this way? Oh, man, I ought to do it like that. I could have done it this way. The shoulds, the coulds, the oughts, they're not only self-defeating, but they are words that provoke anxiety in you. So we really want to try to cut those off. And here's the truth. There is no easy way to just cut it. What it is you got to be aware of it, and then you have to say, okay, I'm gonna reframe this. Okay, I'm gonna say something positive to counter this, or I'm just gonna be aware and I'm just gonna cut the thought. I'm not gonna keep ruminating and dwelling on it. So it's really about bringing it to awareness. So the main challenge is and just being able for me to say right now to everyone, keep doing a self-check. And just, you're going to talk to yourself all of the time, and our minds tend to default towards negativity. So just keep an awareness throughout the day, and we've got to make it a habit. So then tomorrow try to catch it, and the next day try to catch it. And that's the real way. It's the longer way because you're creating a new habit. You got to get rid of that old one. But awareness is going to be the most important tool in cutting these thoughts.
And I think I absolutely agree. And across many different disciplines, too, there's a lot of focus on awareness as being the key for our mental health, whether we're finding our awareness by doing things we love or by doing yoga or meditating or just being really present in our minds, that when we hear ourselves speaking negatively, we check it. And we say, I'm going to cheerlead for myself the same way I cheerlead for the people I love. Wouldn't that be amazing? If we were fans of ourselves?
That would be awesome. And that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to close the show. Thank you, Dr. Jamie. I mean, there's been a wealth of amazing information here. I just want to close the show by talking about gratitude and how much gratitude I have been trying to cultivate in myself for this world that we live in that's so beautiful. It can be so bitter and so sweet. Gratitude for the obstacles and the lessons that we have created to make ourselves stronger, for the dreams and the faults and the silliness that we have that makes us human. Gratitude for each other. Gratitude for our weird physical bodies that are also here to teach us lessons. I am so thankful. And when we start thinking this way, no matter how hard life might feel, there's really no room for fear. There's really only room for love. They say that energy flows where the attention goes. And so an attitude of gratitude and love begets more to be thankful for. Just like an attitude of fear or saying poor me begets more feelings of victimization and hurt. So really the question we have to ask ourselves every day as part of this conscious present awareness is, what do I want today? Do I want to be happy and feel good, or do I want to feel bad? And recognize that we have control over that based on where we direct our energy. So those are just my closing thoughts for the day. And I want to thank my guest, Dr. Jamie Kulaga, for sharing such inspiring information. And I want to thank you so much. And again, drjamiek.com, correct? Awesome. So find her on the web, go to her new seminars, workshops, 15 Minutes to Fierce coming out soon. I love that. And of course, the Superwoman's Guide to Super Fulfillment. I had a great show today. It was really great to be here. We've been having our girl time and dancing, dancing into the break. So please continue to join me every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Mountain, and 2 p.m. Pacific on KKNW 1130 Seattle and WBLQ 1230 5:30 New York. You can find me at thelucidplanet.com and also listen to all of our streaming podcasts at lucidplanetradio.com. You can connect with me on Facebook at The Lucid Planet with Dr. Kelly and also on Twitter at The Lucid Planet. So yeah, lots of ways to get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Next week on Lucid Planet Radio, I'm excited to welcome Eli Jackson Bear. He is the author of Sudden Awakening, and we're going to be talking about spiritual growth and this journey we're all on as humans and what it really means to wake up in this world. And I know that this is a theme that many people are kind of working with at the minute. So stay tuned. Light and love to you, and I will see you guys same time next week. Okay, take care. Bye.
You've been listening to the hit show, Lucid Planet Radio, with renowned psychologist and author, Dr. Kelly Neff. Tune in each week as we illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. This hit show will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake up to the greatest version of yourself. Learn how to navigate the global shift of consciousness as you explore the deeper knowledge, passion, and purpose within. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for upcoming show topics and to contact Dr. Kelly.